Hello, how are we doing? Right, just a few audio checks tonight, please, before we begin. And we'll get right into it. So what we're doing tonight, I'm going to give a full rundown from the beginning to now on what we know about the missing Mellisa Casias, and they've now found her body. So just let me know what the audio's like and I'll crack on. Apologies I didn't come live last night. We had another emergency hog, so for those of you that know, there's been a bit of a nightmare with the weather. It's extraordinary hot weather and gardeners cutting back things they shouldn't be. And we've had an influx of hoglets last night. Another was found across the other side of town. So we had to rush over and save him or her. We don't know how they're doing, but we know that they are on antibiotics and in the right place. And so there you go. So apologies for last night, but we are back now. If you're interested in that sort of content, animals, wildlife, and so on, then please do subscribe to the Penny's Bunnies Wildlife and Pets channel. But if you're into your intriguing, curious, bizarre, bit of paranormal, a little bit of this, little bit of that, anything that piques my interest, it might pique your interest. So pop over to here. And we've got Carlos, we've got Lee, we've got Amethyst. Hello, my darling. We've got Susan Aurora. Hello, my darling. I'm the one that's late. Hello, lovely jubbly. Now, I know some of you already know about Mellisa. Okay, I know this. Now, some of you don't. So I'm just going to start from the beginning because I was updating you the other day and some of you didn't know what was going on. And it was like, well, we'll just do it from the beginning. So I'm going to give you a rundown. Now, I've still got a couple of missing scientists to cover that I haven't even spoken about yet. But I've been focusing on Mellisa because she's the first one who went missing and they've actually found a body. Now, Mellisa wasn't a scientist. Mellisa was a lab worker at Los Alamos laboratory in, I think it's Albuquerque, New Mexico. Excuse me. Now, New Mexico, as we know, hang on, get this in. So I can get a picture up of what I'm talking about so you know what I'm on about. New Mexico is obviously where a lot of the rumors are. Oh, it won't let me get into it. It will not let me into the Los Alamos website, which is interesting. Now, Los Alamos do a lot of government contracts. They are where the a lot of the scientists were based. It won't let me get into their website, so I'm just going to get the wiki page up just now. So this is the laboratory here. This is on Wiki. That's the aerial view. So New Mexico, Area 51. Some people say that it's in this region. Some people say that this is Area 51 underneath the ground. We don't know. But so far we've had Anthony Chavez. We've had Monica Reza, who invented a brand new metal that many say was discovered on the Roswell apparent crash. This new metal is that advanced that it means that they use it on rockets, the US, and they no longer rely on the Chinese type of metal that can withstand all these heats. So Monica Reza vanished. We've covered her as well from the yoga trip on the mountain. So I'm sorry, I'm just sorting out some food for the dog. Sorry. I'm just going to warm that up and then take that. I didn't need that. Didn't need that. Oh, careful. That's moving. Thank you very much. Right, okay. You've got my full attention now, guys. Let's take the gloves off. Not stopped. Madness. Okay. So this is the laboratory here. Now they have if you look there, look, 1943. When I was at 41, Roswell 42. So they literally started it just after the Roswell incident. Now they do a lot for the United States Department of Energy is allegedly where they are in charge of all of the UFO technology that was found, and it is in New Mexico, which, You think of aliens, you think of New Mexico. They do nuclear weapons, they do all this weird stuff, stuff that you're not allowed to talk about. You've got to have a really high clearance missile defense agency. There's a lot of stuff that go on in this place. Maybe one day we'll do a full breakdown of this lab where a lot of these people, scientists and so on, are going missing. And also the Manhattan Project was all based there as well. Project Y, whatever that is, that's one we could look into. A top secret site for design assembling nuclear weapons on the Manhattan Project during World War II. So this is a very, very interesting site. I've been to, let me just remove that for a moment. Wu-Tan Dan, hello. Let me give you a wrench, bud. I thought you had one. It must have been a different channel you came into. Just bear with me. I'm just going to get in the live chat. Please hit the like, guys. It does help the channel. It really does. Message July. We'll do a 2-second just in case we get any spam bots in. It won't affect moderators. So you've been to Los Alamos, and do you think that that is Area 51? Or do you think it's in the area? I've been to Roswell. Oh, really? Yeah, I'd love to hear more on that one day. So Monica Reza was not, Mellisa Casias was not a scientist, but she did work, hello Bridget, at Los Alamos. Now her husband, Mark Casias, did work there as well, Nevada. But we don't know what he did. Okay, now I'm going to start from the beginning. All right, I'm going to go through the whole thing again from the beginning. Okay, now on Thursday, the 26th of June, Mellisa, who was 53 years old at the time, now this is the official narrative, she drove her husband to work. Now, she should have gone to work as well, but she didn't, for whatever reason. Now, she said, the official story is she forgot her work badge, which has been proven as not true, because you have to use that just to drive into the gate. And there's been previous employees that have come forward and said there's no way she forgot her badge, because you can't get in without it. So that's the first anomaly. Now, the husband says he couldn't have been involved because he was at work that day. But again, somebody else has come forward and said that he's been known for faking clocking in. Oh, gosh, this is a long story. So we don't know why, but she went home. Now, she went home and she never came back into work. Some say that she went home to work from home because she forgot a key card, which doesn't make any sense, because say she would have needed it to get through the actual gate into the car park, which she actually did. So she went home, she got her work phone and her personal phone, and she reset them both, or somebody reset them both to factory setting. Now, many people think the husband's involved, all right? I'm just going by what I've seen, and I can understand why people are saying that. Her own mother and sister think that the husband's involved. The husband and her own daughter are saying that she ran off with another man, okay? But we'll get more into that in a moment. Let's get to back to the beginning of Mellisa. So on the 26th of June, she went home. She took somebody factory reset both of her phones, which is a bit bizarre. Now, what is interesting is that when the police went round there, her thyroid medication was missing, 3 months worth. And that is very important. She needs this thyroid medication. She had a thyroid condition that made her very, very poorly if she didn't take this medication. So if you were going to go and unalive yourself, which is what they're trying to push, You would not take your thyroid medication with you, just saying. Number 2, she took her toothbrush. That was missing. Now, if you're going to go and unalive yourself, you don't worry about brushing your teeth, just saying. So those 2 items were missing, and both phones factory reset. Why would you factory reset a work phone as well as your personal phone if you're going to go and unalive yourself? Because you just wouldn't care. So next one. So she then goes to, really bizarrely, which is something that she's never done, is she turned up at her daughter's work, who worked in a cafe in a big food mall. So there was lots and lots of food anyway. So why would you take your daughter a Starbucks? No, Subway, my apologies. She took her daughter a Subway sandwich. I hope the audio is okay, guys, because I can't see chat, so I don't know what you're all saying. So she went and did that, and then she disappeared, vanished. And this is where things get a little bit murky, because the husband who rang the police told them that he thought, this is Mark Casias, that he thought she'd ran away. He told police that she had money worries, that she had been in trouble at work, and her performance was not very good, and that work were not happy, and that she'd been turned down for loans. The husband painted a picture to the police of someone that wanted to either unalive themselves or had run off with another man. Now, when the police put out this alert to this missing person, somebody came forward and said that they'd seen her walking along a highway, just randomly through the middle reservation, and it was on Mexico State Highway 518 near Tapa, a small settlement in Taos County. Walking completely alone in the middle reservation, which you just wouldn't do, with a backpack. Now, we don't know where this backpack come from, but on this image, she had a backpack. This was at 2:18 p.m. on the day she went missing. Now, originally, when this tip came in, the police dismissed this tip. They said it can't be her because the husband has said that it couldn't be her at that time. Now, a few days later, dash cam footage or CCTV came in. She actually was walking along that road. But for 4 days, the police never looked into that tip because the husband had convinced them that she'd run off with another man and it couldn't possibly be her. Okay, so we're giving her a few rundown. Now, she visited her daughter, drop off lunch. Afternoon, she texted her husband, telling him she would need to find a ride home. And this is when she was last seen walking alone away from home on this road. Now, this is all the husband's story. At 5 p.m, her husband returned home from work and reported her missing. Now, initial discovery, family members found all of her belongings, again, another one of them, purse, identification, keys, left at the house. Notably, both of her personal cell phones were found. What now? I was told one of them was work and one of them was personal. Now, some of this is giving you too much detail, so we're going to leave that for a moment. So hopefully you're up to speed with what I'm saying. Now, what we're going to do now, we're going to watch a short video from 11 months ago. We have watched this before, but again, I've covered this over many episodes, but some of you have missed it. Plus, for those of you that have seen it, there's nothing wrong with a refresher. So we're now going to watch this video. This is from when she had just gone missing. And I think these are really, really good to watch because you're going back. So this was like 11 months ago. So she'd only gone missing. She went missing on the 26th of June. This is the 23rd of July, 2025. So like a month later. So let's have a watch of this.
Their loved one disappeared.
Mellisa Casias was last seen in June. Now, her family talking with reporter Alyssa Munoz about any leads they might have.
Well, Shelley, Doug, for weeks, the family has been through a roller coaster of tips, searches, and unanswered questions. Now, while it is a possibility Casias left on her own, some of her relatives tell us they don't believe that's the case.
because we don't have answers. We can't draw any conclusions one way or the other.
June 26th is the last day Mellisa Casias was seen or heard from. Jasmine and Trudy, Casias' niece and sister, told us what they remember. In the morning, Casias dropped off her husband at Los Alamos National Labs, where they both work. New Mexico State Police say she then went back home. Her daughter told investigators her mom said she may stay home and run errands.
At some point, she took a break and picked up Subway and dropped it off for her daughter, my cousin Sierra, at the coffee shop where she works in the Taos Plaza area.
This video is one of the last times Casias is seen. NMSP tells us the last place someone saw her was walking along State Road 518 in Talpa.
My cousin got home from work and found all of Melissa's belongings at home. Her purse, her phones, her car, her keys, everything was at home. Her phones were factory reset.
Since her disappearance.
Now, did you hear that? Now, this is why I love when you go back. Now, that's her niece. She also believes that the dad did this. She said that her cousin, Melissa's daughter, they were apparently very, very close, and there's no way she would walk away from her daughter. She's saying that the daughter found the phone gone. But didn't they just say that the husband arrived home at 5 o'clock and found the phone wiped and the key and all the things there? So there's a discrepancy right there. Let's continue.
Investigators say there have been 3 searches with the help of state, local, and federal resources. State police say they haven't ruled out foul play.
All of her friends keep telling us this is not like her.
Yeah.
First of all, she wouldn't leave her daughter. Absolutely. She loves, adores her daughter. She would not leave her.
The family adds Casias was planning to care for her mom for an upcoming surgery. So the idea of leaving on her own is something the two don't believe is the case.
No matter what, we need to find answers. And no matter what, we don't want to stop looking. And so I think regardless of what the situation is, if she left on her own or if there's foul play involved, we just want to find her.
Now, the family says Crime Stoppers is offering a $2,500 reward as well as a $5,000 reward from the family for any information that leads to her return. Reporting, I'm Mellisa Munoz, KWT Action 7.
Right, so that's a little bit of background. Now, this story gets really, really weird very, very quickly and very, very dark very, very quickly as well. They've turned the comments off on that. Now, the comments weren't off before, so obviously there's a lot of people speculating in there. Oh, right. Okay. So she goes missing. Now, again, she was an administrator. She wasn't a scientist. So the question is, now they wouldn't want to bump her off because she wasn't a scientist, but did she see something that she shouldn't have seen? And also, another question, what did her husband do? Because nobody knows what Mark Casias did. If anyone knows, hello, Terry Knowles Band again. Hello, Mr. Steve. Hello, everyone. If she's seen something that the husband did. Now, apparently, allegedly, I've got to be careful because the husband's on a rampage, which I'll get into in a bit. The people are saying that the husband was abusive. Again, I'm just repeating rumours from her own family. So just to add again, her daughter and her husband are on one side that she ran off and she was seeing another man, adamantly. Her niece, her aunt, and her mother are saying that the husband did it. We'll get into the private investigator in a moment because things get extremely murky and extremely bizarre and extremely weird pretty quickly. So this is another update. This is from the local news again, a different news station. So let's have a listen to this one. Have you got this on the screen? Let me just check. No, you haven't. Here you go. She was 53. Oh, the daughter. I'm not sure. I'll find out, though.
Nearly a month since anyone has seen Mellisa Casias. Her stepdaughter says a doorbell camera showed Casias walking a couple miles away.
Just want to add the stepdaughter. The husband was married before, and he had a daughter from before he met Mellisa. So the stepdaughter's saying about the door cam footage, but this is where things get really, really, really interesting. Apparently, and I'll explain to you later on, and I've got all the group, I'm in the Facebook group run by the family that want justice for her mom and her niece and her aunt. The person who's got the Ring door cam has got the wrong date on it. And they're saying that was broken, which doesn't make any sense. And the person who reported the tip seeing her, nobody did anything for 4 days. It's all really, really bizarre. I smell something off. People are really starting to think it's the husband, and they're saying it's got nothing to do with where she worked. I don't believe that. There's too many people going missing from the same place. And just because she wasn't a scientist doesn't mean that she didn't see something. Because if you're working somewhere and colleagues who are scientists and, really intelligent people are going missing, just because you're an administrator doesn't mean you can't witness something. If anything, you're more likely to be unalived because you see something. Right, so let's continue. Let's watch this one. Start this again.
Nearly a month since anyone has seen Mellisa Casias. Her stepdaughter says a doorbell camera showed Casias walking a couple miles away with a backpack, and she was last seen walking on a highway in Taos County about a month ago. It was June 26th. A family friend even saw her walking along the highway. He turned around to see if she needed help, but then all he saw.
Family friend. This makes me extremely suspicious. Okay, hopefully you guys that missed the first ones of this, it's helping you start again.
Was a blue truck driving by. No Casias. Her family thinks she got into that truck. Her family says her personal belongings are all still at home, including her phone, which had been factory reset.
Really wasn't dressed for the mountains, and I mean, she has the gear,
This is a
so
niece, I think.
she would have definitely taken something like that.
Her parents and sister say they're offering a $5,000 reward for tips. Crime Stoppers is offering $2,500. If you know anything about where she is, call state police.
Okay. I'm trying to get as much information to you that I can before we then start looking into what's happening right now, because they found her at the end of May. I'm just going to check there's no more reports before we carry on, because things get really, really, really bizarre about this story, including, gosh, the private investigator who was working for the family. He was accusing the husband of killing her publicly, actually doing it publicly on Facebook. And the husband has now taken out a restraining order because the guy that was doing it was a retired detective. And the husband took out a restraining order. This detective, who was employed by the sister and the mother and the aunt, that's her blood family, part of her daughter's blood, but just say her blood family, was following the husband around, stalking him and filming him and putting it on Facebook and saying, "We know what you did." And the husband went and got a temporary restraining order against him. And now he's left the job. It's so bizarre. It is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And it's all been done in public. So we've got another story from 11 months ago. It's only a short one. I'm trying to go back to the beginning so you guys can all see what was happening back then. Okay, let's get this one up. And then we'll start getting to the discovery of her body in a moment.
You can trust. You're watching KRQE News 13 at 10.
Good evening. It's been more than a week since a northern New Mexico woman went missing. And though there's been an extensive search effort,
I like these. More than a week. So this is a really, really early story. That's her parents there, her mum and dad. So sad.
has shed light on what happened to Mellisa Casias. News 13's Chandler Farnsworth has the details.
It's been 9 days since Mellisa Casias went missing. She was last seen near Talpa, just southeast of Ranchos de Taos. Her disappearance spurred large search and rescue operations and has prompted the involvement of New Mexico State Police.
Thursday, June 26th.
So that's the last that we know about where she was that day.
According to her family, Mellisa Casias went missing after taking lunch to her daughter at a cafe in Taos Plaza. More than a week later, investigators are still searching.
No positive news right now. We're really just trying to kind of keep it top of mind for people in the area.
Her family says Casias is an administrative assistant with Los Alamos National Laboratory and had went to work that day. They say she forgot her badge, which she needs for security clearance, and decided to work from home. Her family says Casias later took...
But then witnesses said that she had her badge. And again, she wouldn't have got in the car park without the badge. She had the badge. She wanted to get away. She wanted to go that day. Why? I don't know. Maybe she'd seen something and she knew something and she was going to go to the police. Something doesn't add up. And a lot of journalists now are dismissing the link to the lab. Lauren Conlon is as well, saying something to do with the lab. I don't think that's right because her husband worked there. We need to find out what her husband does at that lab.
Lunch to her daughter at the John Dunn shops in Taos and left the shops just before 1 p.m.
She got back in her car. She left. We have surveillance footage that shows what she was seen last wearing.
I don't know who this is. I don't know if that person on the phone is her niece or her stepdaughter. I don't know. I need to find out. Because the stepdaughter, she sounds very calm. Stepdaughter has been accused of being involved. Now, the husband apparently has already moved on. He's been out for dinner with this woman. This private detective has took video all over Facebook. I don't know if it's been deleted now. This gets really, really, really bizarre, this story. Let's continue.
When Casias' daughter returned home after work and found all of her mother's belongings, but Mellisa was not there.
Her purse, her car, her keys, her wallet, and her personal phone, her work phone, and her computer were all at home.
A tip came in later that day saying that someone saw her walking alone on foot on Highway 518 in Talpa and was seen on neighbors' Ring doorbell cameras, later verified by family from the clothes that she was wearing. The family says that's the last time she was seen. Since then, hundreds of volunteers, family members, and law enforcement have spent hours searching for Casias.
We created some large maps of the total search area. We divided that into quadrants and then sub-quadrants. So we had 16 grid areas where we sent volunteers.
The family is offering a $5,000 reward for information that leads to finding her.
The family asks the public to contact New Mexico State Police about any information that could lead to Casias' safe return. Back to you.
Now we will have a link to a Facebook page dedicated to finding Casias on KRQE.
Right, okay. Let me just see if there's any more articles that I want to cover or before we get on to what's going on at the moment. I'm just getting an update on exactly who's gone missing from this lab. So a quick look, won't be a sec. But they are really pushing the, oh, she's, nothing to see here, sort of, she just killed herself. I think we've watched this one. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I think we've watched that one. Right, I'm just trying to find out how many have gone missing. So right now, we had Mellisa Casias go missing. We had Anthony Chavez, who I've already covered before. He's missing. He was working at Los Alamos. Ingrid Lane, who is the one that had the boulder attack, vanished from Los Alamos. General William McCasland was working there. Los Alamos, vanished into thin air, as we know. We've covered him. Kevin Childress was found deceased, died unexpectedly at 39. Was he? No, he's in his 50s. Apparently from obesity. All these people have gone missing or vanished or turned up dead from the same place for no reason, just randomly either vanished or dead. Does any of this make sense to you? Does any of this sound like plausibly could just be missing? It really doesn't, does it? Doesn't make any sense. So they have found Mellisa. They found her remains, as many of you know. And the family say the area where they found her was previously searched, which doesn't make any sense, because if they'd previously searched it, they would have found her. The body was apparently found just sat up, leaning against a tree on a fork. Now, her family say, well, they've got the husband did a poem. Really weird. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get into the poem in a moment. But we've got a short here from her parents 3 months ago. Really sad. Let's just have a quick watch of this. This is her dad, I think.
Bed, thinking about her. Wake up in the middle of the night. Same thing, thinking about her. Where is she?
What we would love is if someone out there knows something, to be brave. If they have any love in their heart, to think what it would be like to go through something like this. And if they would just think about that, what we're going through, that they would please try to have the heart to come forward and respond.
I go to bed.
They know, her mum and dad know that she was not just walk away, that she was taken, clearly. Now, I want to know why this one, for example, has turned up. Why has she turned up and none of the others did? Are we going to see an influx now of the other missing scientists turn up? Now, Law and Crime Network did a video on this a few weeks ago. Let me just see if I can get it up and we'll watch a bit of it. Hang on a sec. They've done some really good work on this. Let's get this up.
Involved. We know the White House is now looking into this, but now one of those people has just reportedly been found. Her name is Mellisa Casias. She worked at Los Alamos, and where she was reportedly discovered and what was apparently found with her is going to raise a whole lot more questions, but we're going to try to separate fact from fiction right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. You know, as we were writing this episode, I was looking at the date and I was like, wow, Father's Day is right around the corner. I couldn't believe it. Now, if you're looking for what is that perfect gift for all the dads out there, meet the Chef IQ Sense Smart Meat having to hover over the grill. This is one of them. This is one of the stories that when I was speaking to you all out there, you want to know more about.
4
Let's
weeks
talk
ago,
about
this
it,
was.
okay? This case.
We know more
You have
now.
a hiker walking through Carson National Forest. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then they find something no one expected. Human remains. And next to those human remains, a handgun. Within days. The remains are identified as someone we've talked about before here on.
There's something I want to say here, and nobody else has picked up on this. All right? And it's a bit out there. Now, General William McCasland, who was completely, he had the highest of the highest Q clearance. He was running Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, where Amy Eskridge was doing work, okay? They would have met each other. They would have crossed paths. We all know who Amy Eskridge is. If you don't, you need to go back and watch my previous videos in the playlist. The playlist is called something like Missing and Deceased NASA Scientists, something like that. Because if they're not NASA, they're related to NASA, okay? Now, General William McCasland, when he disappeared and he left anything that could identify him, his phone, his phone, his watch, his everything, all he had with him was, if I remember rightly, he left his wallet as well. He had a gun with him. Now, they're saying that the gun that was missing, they didn't realise it was missing till a couple of days later. The wife realised that his handgun was missing. Now, no one knows where that handgun is. What if, and nobody else has said this that I know of, what if the missing handgun that disappeared along with General William McCasland is the handgun that was found next to Mellisa? What if that happened? Because no one's speaking about that. They're saying, oh, this unknown handgun that was found next to Melissa's body. By the way, they've not found a bullet wound in her head. There's been no projectile, but she had a skull fracture. Just saying. What if William General McCasland was involved in the murder, forcibly or not, for whatever reason, of Mellisa, and this is how they're linked? And then because he was starting to get dementia, and it's been a year on, well, it was about 6-7 months on, because he's starting to get dementia, they've had to bump him off because he knows too much. How do we know that that handgun, has anybody bothered to look at the type of handgun that went missing with General McCasland is the same type of handgun that was found with Mellisa Casias' body? I need to find that out because nobody's asking that question, and people need to be asking more questions. Dr. Evil, hello. It's Dave here as well. Happy Joy. So we're going to watch a bit more of this, and I'm going to go on a little rabbit hole hunting.
On sidebar, Mellisa Casias, an administrative assistant at Los Alamos National Laboratory, missing for nearly a year. And her disappearance back in June of 2025 was strange from the start. Right? Her phone, she had more than one left at home. One of them was factory reset. Her purse, her keys, all still there. She was seen walking along a highway, then nothing until this. And this discovery is definitely going to raise a lot of questions. How did she end up 6 miles from her home in a national forest? Why was a handgun found with her remains? And why, according to her family, was she located in an area that had already been searched? Mellisa Casias wasn't a general. She wasn't a rocket scientist, but she worked at a lab that handles some of the most sensitive nuclear secrets. And her case became part of a much larger story, one that caught the attention of the FBI, the White House, the House Oversight Committee. You know, we've been covering this story from the beginning, right? The missing scientist, the retired general who vanished, the theories that are out there. But you go back to Mellisa and what this development is telling us, because according to the New Mexico State Police on June 26, 2025, she fails to show up for work at Los Alamos National Laboratory. She doesn't return home that night. Her husband, Mark, who also worked at the lab, according to NBC News, tells investigators she dropped him off at the lab earlier that day and said she was going to another location within the lab to complete a work task. But he says she never came back. Her family goes to the house.
There's an anomaly there. Now, he said before she went home to work from home. Now he's saying that she said she was going to work at a different part of the lab and that she didn't forget a key card. He keeps changing the story, which really, if you're going to be a liar, you've got to have a very good memory. And it sounds like the husband doesn't have a good memory. But I'm going to go deeper on this soon because the Facebook group that's been set up by the family is explosive. Some of the things on there, I don't know if a lot of it's been wiped now. I'm hoping it hasn't because I haven't got it. But some of the stuff on there is crazy that they're coming out with, because well, you'll see for yourself if it hasn't been wiped. Some of the 911 calls, they're all on there. So
they find her belongings, purse, keys, identification, the phones, all left behind. Again, one of those phones, factory reset, wiped clean. Same afternoon, a family acquaintance spots Mellisa walking eastbound on State Road 518. A highway runs through the mountains northeast of Taos. This is the last confirmed sighting of her. There's apparently surveillance footage of this. The state police launched an investigation. They don't rule out foul play, but a spokesperson says it could be that she disappeared voluntarily. And nearly a year passes, and we don't hear anything. And then you go to May 28th of this year. A hiker reportedly discovers human remains in the McAfee Ridge area of Carson National Forest. It's about 6 miles from Melissa's home, and a handgun is found alongside the remains. The Office of the Medical Investigator positively identifies the remains as Mellisa Casias, and which, by the way, I'm going to bring on Ashton Pack in a little bit to understand how they were able to confirm this was, in fact, Melissa, cause and manner of death. I have a lot of questions. But her family released a statement online, and it has some information in it that could be significant to talk about. I mentioned this before because it says, quote, "We confirm that the remains found in Rio Chiquito are Melissa. There will be more information to come, but what we can tell you now is she was located in an area previously searched. This is a lot to process. Our hearts are heavy, and we fully intend to continue to pursue answers for justice." Located in an area previously searched. I mean, they're saying that the initial search teams looked there. They found nothing.
And how was the body? How was it not found? Because I've got pictures of where the body was found, which I'll show you as well shortly. It was literally a fork. So the road goes off either way, and there was a little triangle of grass in the middle of that fork. And she was found sat up, perfectly propped up with a gun next to her. What if that was General McCasland's gun? I can't help but think there is a link in all of this. George wants to go outside. Mr. Bunny, can you take George outside, please? I know you've been asleep. You've been snoring.
Nearly a year later, a hiker stumbles across her remains in that same area. There's a gun. So either the search missed her, or maybe she wasn't there yet, which I want to explore. The New Mexico State Police, they haven't explained what's going on here. The Medical Investigator's Office hasn't released a cause or manner of death. The investigation's still active.
Take George,
I want to talk about it. Okay, so I want to bring in somebody who's going to walk us through what we should make of this, what is happening behind the scenes, what we can expect next. Somebody I just saw in person at CrimeCon in Las Vegas. Now I'm back to, the box version of him. Private investigator Ashton Pack. Ashton, good to see you. And it was great to see you in person.
Yes, Jesse, it was really great meeting you guys and everyone over at Law and Crime. I really appreciate all that support.
You got it. All right, so let's go through this. First of all, how do you think that they ID'd her? Remember, this was the Office of the Medical Investigator that confirmed that this is Casias. How did they know this is Melissa?
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say probably were able to obtain some kind of DNA. And then you also have dental records, which is often used. I know a firearm was located in proximity to the body. That's another record that could be used to collate or at least try to identify her body.
If it wasn't, and we'll get into this a little bit more, I don't know the state of her body. I don't know the state of decomposition, if it existed. Is there a way, are there tools, or is there a technique that they do if they can just visually identify her in a way?
The technology is constantly expanding when it comes to, technology for evidential use and for crime scenes. I can tell you if your body's down in the New Mexico high desert for a modicum of time, there's probably nothing left other than skeletal remains. But things that don't degrade as fast as the biologic side of our vessels, things like the purse, the clothing, the ID maybe in the pocket. I think I read somewhere that she had actually left a bunch of things at home.
Yep.
But the clothing, you're not going to, she was seen running down a highway. You're not doing that with no clothes on. She
and
carried
the dental records. The dental
correct
records.
Dental records, and
quick,
there's
right. You can get those back quick.
I'm not sure how fast they can get them back, but it's definitely something that they can use.
Okay.
They're probably, I always say we love to get to 100% when we're in law enforcement. When I was working investigations as a cop, sometimes we can get to about 95 pretty quick, and it takes us a couple more days or weeks to get to that 100% mark in an investigation or the identification of a body.
as we're talking about this, now it goes into the ME going to be determining cause and manner of death. I imagine it's going to be complicated, maybe not. If you talk about the handgun, you're speculating about what might have happened to her. But at the same time, if you're talking about level of decomposition or the state of her remains, what should we be thinking about in terms of cause and manner of death and how they're going to be able to determine that?
Well, just from reading everything and based on my training and experience, I have a bad feeling that this young lady chose to take her own life.
Now, this was a month ago.
I think ultimately
they were coming out with this nonsense.
If that was the case, they're going to be able to.
This was then. Let's forward a little bit, because we want to get up to now. I'm just going to come off this a moment, because Lauren's done a lot of work on this as well. So just bear with me. I'm in the Facebook group at the moment. And I just want to have a little listen to some of this audio. Now, some people are saying that this video of her, this ring bell footage, could have actually been, George is barking, the daughter dressed up. So let me just grab this up. Hold on. I hope you're all well. It's a complicated one, this one, isn't it, guys? Right, George is barking. Okay, so this is the Ring doorbell that people are talking about. And she was just walking along here. There was also footage of her in the middle of the road as well. Here she is. A little bit strange how it just happens to be following her, isn't it? Start that again. Look how it just seems a bit bizarre how it just follows her. That, to me, looks pretty fake. This post is from a video, it says. Now, okay, so many people are saying... Is there any more coffee, John? I think I think this is the 911 call about that video. Let's have a listen.
Hey, guys. We have something to show you. Come here, Joe. I need to see this.
Well, listen, this is the police. I don't know what this is, but...
You guys sit over here. I've already seen it. We were out till 10, 11 o'clock last night getting all this information. So I want you to see this. It's over here where these cameras should have been checked, but it took us 2 hours to go figure out. Watch. There's Mellisa right there. Well, because we're doing what we need to do. I'm sorry, John. I'm not going to say nothing. So we're investigating where this should have been taken care of. This was in 2 hours once I found and talked to Lloyd.
Can you pause it?
When I talked to Lloyd and he told me, when he showed me exactly all that shit that Joseph said her staggering in the ground and all this shit, the wrong color of clothes, threw this whole thing off. 4 days. 4 days we lost. Lloyd told me exactly what happened. He drove me out there, the positioning. I went in 2 hours. We had the cameras. We had this on. That's her carrying a backpack.
What the heck?
I'm telling you guys don't understand. Other than now that the cops aren't on me all day.
But Mark, you got to understand, the family has to do what they can to try to find
exactly,
her.
but no
That's
one's,
all it is.
Yeah, but
Mark.
no one's giving me any information. So you can't even imagine what we have, what these girls have done. So I want you to see that. We brought that over there.
And where's this at?
Never mind. You guys figured out. You guys walk right by that thing. I don't know how many freaking times and no one did this.
But we don't know, Mark. That's the thing.
Well, exactly.
But
you don't know.
But Mark,
you watch.
No, Mark.
You don't know, and you're not
Mark,
out there.
Please.
Not out there.
Look.
Here, don't say nothing to me.
Okay.
We're out there. This should have been the first places you guys
Did you send this to the police?
Of course we did.
Okay, good.
Of course we did. The whole case that you guys are looking at from the cops is from us. It's from us.
There's no sense in trying to point fingers. No. She's the most important thing.
So why was that camera's not checked?
We don't know.
You guys were right there, dude.
But Mark, we're not detectives.
Okay.
Now they're talking to Mark, the husband. The husband's saying, why weren't these cameras checked? He's talking to the police. I'm just trying to find the original 911 call. Just keep listening. You're saying, why weren't these cameras checked? He's saying we're not detectives. You must just be speaking to just a regular state.
Why are you guys having people send to people that don't know? Anyway, this is, I just wanted you to see.
Well, thank you.
I wanted you to see.
Thank
so
you.
This brings some peace.
That, you know what? That makes me
we
feel
are
good.
working. We are working. This other stuff that's a joke. We are on it. We know exactly what's going on. We already know who how she got out. We know everything.
She's alive. That's all I want.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all we want.
Okay. So all of this is going to come out, Joanne. It's going to come out pretty quick. We're waiting on certain things. The cameras should be over here. If they can pull that stuff off, I really can't go too much further because we could not find the vehicle, but we know exactly where they picked her up. We know exactly it was not picked up by any criminal. It was picked up by someone outplay. So she's alive. She's fine. This was all she was walking to where she was going. Remember, I told you guys someone helped her. We figured out who. We don't know exactly who, but how and where and why. We know everything. We know
That's
everything.
the husband talking. That's the husband. We know everything. He's such a piece of shit. People really, really don't like the husband. Here in this video sounds like the video was fake rigged. Why? Like, why won't he say where it's from? Everyone suspects the husband. Everybody. Oh, right. Because someone posted a video of Ray Court. Yeah, it gets really, really weird.
Family of Mellisa Casias speaking to KOB4 for the first time since her remains were found in the Carson National Forest last month. They say, though, a gun was found near Family of Mellisa Casias speaking to KOB4 for the first time since her remains were found in the Carson National Forest last month. They say, though, a gun was found near Casias' body, they still believe that she did not leave on her own and would not have taken her own life.
The family has hired a lawyer who is helping them conduct a separate investigation as they wait for autopsy results.
So they've got rid of this Emerald Eye investigation. Well, they've parted ways because he was accusing the husband and they've parted ways. And now they've got this law firm in.
Went missing exactly 1 year ago today when her daughter came home to a strange scene and no sign of her mother. Now they're hoping that there's someone out there who can help solve this mystery.
But Melissa's my aunt. She's my mom's little sister. She was an avid reader. She was a fierce hunter, outdoors woman.
The niece of Mellisa Casias wants her aunt remembered for the special person she was, someone who she says would not leave her family without notice.
It was pretty early on that there was this narrative that was strongly pushed that Mellisa left on her own, that we didn't need to look for her because she left with another man. That was really hurtful to our family because we know that Mellisa is a kind and caring, loving, genuine person. She was not the kind of person to put her family through the kind of pain that this situation brings. You know, she would not have left without saying something to her loved ones, without saying something to her daughter.
Casias' phones were reset to factory settings. Her purse and car were still at home, the doors locked.
Knowing that her phone had been reset, we knew something is wrong here.
This past May, Casias' remains were found by a hiker. Investigators say a gun lay nearby. Though implications were there, still, the family wanted more answers. They searched the scene themselves, and then they brought in a lawyer.
And it was certainly troubling to find out that that resulted in several different little bags of evidence from that crime scene, articles of clothing, paper that was, shredded into pieces, wrappers, lots of different types of hair was found. There was an orange peel found, and bones were also found as well.
Now, attorney David Adams is helping the family conduct its own investigation.
And I can say that based upon some of the circumstantial evidence that we've been provided with since getting involved in this case, there are certainly a number of red flags that point towards individuals that should be looked at closer, given their own history and given some of the allegations that have been said about them.
Adams would not elaborate on which individuals that he thinks investigators should look at more closely, but he says his law firm is helping authorities go through.
Yeah, so this is just gets messier and messier. Now, Lauren Conlon has an update. So let me just get that for you. She didn't know. No, Susan. Oh, hang on, I've just knocked my laptop. Apologies. Apparently, she didn't bring her daughter lunch. It wasn't something that she regularly did, according to her daughter when she had just gone missing. Because I remember that from when we first covered this. So let's not forget, when we first started covering this, she was still missing. She's only been found about a month ago or so. Sorry, my laptop's fallen. So, right, okay, so we'll get Lauren Conlon's just released another video as well. As for, I think just recently, she's just released one. So let's have a quick look. And also, Nancy Grace has been doing quite a bit as well. Let me just get into Lauren's channel and see. She's just put one out, I think. Right. Right, let me have a quick look at this. I think that she's covering 3 of them. So let me just grab this up.
NASA JPL rocket scientist Monica Reza. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go into the cases and the disappearances of General Neil McCaslin.
I think someone said 30-minute mark. Hold on.
Got coordinates as to where she was found. This is about 6 months.
Okay.
Who you can contact if you have any information regarding to her disappearance. And then lastly, I wanted to get to Mellisa Casias. I've been pretty deep in that case. And to me, at this point, with all of my research, I'm baffled. Just very quickly, Mellisa disappeared in June of 2025. Her remains were found May 28th, 2026. Her bones were found in Carson National Forest. That it is huge, millions of acres, but we do have the exact coordinates as to where she was found. This is about 6 miles from her home. And actually, it's off of Highway 518, which is one of the last places that she was reportedly seen walking along. And this is back in 2025. Now, her bones were found at the scene and a handgun was located nearby. The initial forensic CT scan located no projectiles in the skull. The family just hired a search and rescue team and they found additional evidence at the scene. More bones, clothing with blood on it, and torn pieces of paper. So Melissa's cause and manner of death have not been determined yet. But Doug, when she left, she took her thyroid medication, toothbrush, curling iron, factory reset on her phones. I mean, and by all accounts, she would have never, ever left her daughter. Ever. They were so close, best friends, reported financial issues. That morning when she went to Los Alamos, Melissa and her husband, Mark, both worked there. Melissa claimed she lost her badge, so she had to drive what was an hour all the way back home, and said, I'm just going to work from home. I mean, I spoke to someone at Los Alamos who said, you just get a temporary badge for the day. You don't have to, so...
Yeah, we've had employees come forward saying if you do forget your badge, they'll just give you a temporary one. So this forgot my badge business makes no sense. But yeah, the husband has actually got a restraining order against the private detective from Emerald Eye Investigations, who was actually accusing the husband, which apparently this is where this gets even more complicated, because according to many people on the group that's now been deleted, the husband, the day that she went missing, phone records show that the husband, instead of ringing the police, he rung his ex-brother-in-law, ex-girlfriend or partner's brother, who worked in the police force at the time. Now, did he help him move the body? There's a lot gone on there. And the police, for the first week at least, believed everything that the husband said. So they never looked for a body. They just dismissed everything and said she's run off with another man. And her family, some of them are considering suing the police because the police failed to look into any of these sightings.
It's all very, very bizarre, very, very suspect. I don't think she took her own life.
Right. And I mean, you can't have tunnel vision looking at that one scenario, right? But it has to be included. Yeah. I've worked several cases or enough cases where, somebody has taken their own life, and everybody close to them would say, well, they would never, ever, ever leave their child or abandon their child. It does happen. I'm not going to say that. I'm not saying that's what happened here. But I'm saying it does happen. And because of that, you can't exclude that as one possible scenario.
Sure. I totally understand. I think that is not necessarily the main reason why they think she didn't take her own life. I think that's just another, added element, I guess.
Sure, of course. Yeah, you need to take statements from everybody around them to kind of get a sense of who the person is. And I couldn't find much on this case in terms of details. Like you said, there's not many details out there. She dropped off, her husband off, she forgot her badge, she went back, and then she was seen walking along the side of the road. Like there's not too many details. Now, I did look at the area where they found her body. It's up on the McGaffey.
Very remote.
Yeah, it's up on the McGaffey Ridge. It's completely remote. Where they found her, if the coordinates are precise, if those are the exact coordinates, it's kind of right in between that highway and a trail, but it's very far from both.
They don't, Stephen, you're right. They don't usually leave their children.
And it's up on the peak. It's up on the peak. I would want to know a couple things. One, it's not your expected or normal kind of expected location.
Big up to our members as well. I really appreciate you guys. If anybody does want to help out with our rescue work, I'll drop the wish list in a moment as well. Thank you so much to those of you that have been sending items. You wouldn't believe how much it helps.
For honestly. A body deposition site. So if it was foul play, the person, and she didn't hike up there willingly, and she was taken up there, that the hypothetical offender would have put in considerable effort to get her up there. Considerable effort.
What do you mean?
Hiking. Well, I'll tell you how far it is from the highway.
Yeah.
So hiking 0.8 miles in either direction. Okay, so hiking and just for so hiking 1,300 yards in either direction, either from the highway or the trail, 1,300 yards up steep hills, trees everywhere, roots everywhere. So
but that would be for Mellisa as well. Like, why would you? That would be an undertaking for you're right.
Easier for a person to walk than for somebody to carry. Let's just say she's 140 pounds. I have no idea. 140 pound body, right? Much easier just to walk on your own. Yes. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibilities. I'm just saying it's a very abnormal location for a body deposition site. On top of that, I would want to know. I don't know how she was found, because I guess the first reports that I heard and most people heard in public was that, she was skeletonized, leaning up against a tree. And then I heard that that's not true. So let's just say the first one was true for the moment. She's skeletonized, leaning up against a tree. Obviously, if it was just an accidental death or something, her clothes are still on her, her boots are still on her still, right? But then why doesn't anybody else notice her? There's hikers that eventually find her. There's hikers that eventually find her.
But you even said it's so remote. I mean, I don't think it's a place that many people are going back and forth, which is also why I think that it was kind of shocking that not all the evidence was collected. And I don't know the exact location of some of the added evidence, but I just would think like you'd want to collect everything unless law enforcement had the narrative in their head that, oh, she killed herself. So we're not gonna,
right. And maybe.
So I think I just want to watch another one of Lauren's videos before we go, because she did a major. I was watching this the other day and it cut off.
Some updates on the investigation into the very tragic and bizarre death of Mellisa Casias, who was a Los Alamos National Laboratory employee.
And Lauren is a skeptic as well. She doesn't believe that it's anything to do with the lab. She first of all said it was unaliving, but now she's saying it possibly isn't. I'm going to have to go in a minute, guys, because it's really late and I'm really not feeling great at all. This tooth thing's back. So I didn't get my wisdom tooth out and I've woke up today feeling absolutely rubbish. Really poorly, sore throat, my face is swollen. It's obviously the tooth. They never took it out. I've got to go back Thursday and get a re-referral because the surgeon said they didn't want to take it out because it looks healthy. Well, it's obviously not, because it's all red and inflamed around the gum around it and it hurts. And antibiotics help it not hurt. So clearly they've missed something, which is what they did last time. So I'm going to go back and see if they can do a separate scan, see what's going on with this tooth. But yeah, feeling really rotten again today. So I'm going to have to go in a minute. Plus it's really late.
Mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a friend, etc., etc. So I've been on this case and I've done several videos. So head to my playlist. It's under UAPs and bizarre disappearances, as I first grouped Mellisa into the category of the quote missing scientists, or those that died or disappeared connected to national defense. I know that technically we should leave no stones unturned, and nothing is actually set in stone, so to speak. But I've said several times, I just don't think that her position at Los Alamos has anything to do with her death or her disappearance in terms of her knowing classified information or possibly seeing something that she shouldn't have. So I'll just get that out of the way right now. However, everyone is entitled to have their own opinions, and I'm just presenting evidence.
Yeah, she's like, she keeps flip-flopping about being, if it's anything going on. Sometimes I do question some of her. She's always on the fence. She must have splinters. She's scared to get sued. So she'll be like, oh, well, the husband said this, and then the husband, and now because everyone's saying the husband did it, she's like, well, I'm suspicious of this, I'm suspicious of that. But there's no conspiracy. It's got nothing to do with her job, is what she keeps saying. How does she know that? And then in another video yesterday, she backtracks completely and apologizes and says, I've been putting out stuff that's wrong. Her family have contacted her and put out that she's actually wrong on stuff. So she's acting a bit flaky lately, Lauren, which some people are saying, oh, it shows that you can tell the truth when you're wrong. But I don't know. This is just basic 101. She's getting a lot wrong. And I do think that she just goes along with the narrative and then she makes out that everything's conspiracy, when actually I think she's starting to see now that this woman, did not unalive herself at all. And now she's sort of going down the husband route. I think it's deeper than that. I think the lab involved, the husband, involved, but he worked for them as well. So the video that I watched last night was basically Lauren dismissing all of the conspiracy theories about this. It was a really bizarre video. But this is the one from a few days ago. But I've looked and I do not know the type of gun that was found next to Mellisa. But they haven't even given the autopsy report yet. because apparently if it's a live investigation, they can't do that yet. They can do it once they've ruled it either an accident or if there's a murder. So it's really interesting stuff. God, I feel so rotten now. Yeah, I want it gone. I went to see a surgeon and he's like, oh, I think I'll take the top one out. And I says, well, the top one doesn't hurt. And he's like, oh, but that's rubbing on your gum. And it's like, oh, just forget it. And he went, well, I don't want to take that one out. Get another referral. So I've got to go back and do it all again. And it's like, fucking hell. I just feel really rotten. Really, really rotten. So
to you as I get it. So that's where my head's at, again, with some of the evidence and things that I've been parsing through. So the last video I made, I was waiting for a response from the New Mexico State Police, and I ended up getting that response later, and I added the story that I filed in the episode notes. But quickly, I want to talk to you about what they said in this update and things that you may not know, or maybe you didn't read the article, and I can sort of get into that. And then also I'm going to update you on what the family has posted on Facebook and the new firm that they just hired to help them. So first of all, I did want to confirm with the police that there was no, quote, projectile located in the skull during the initial CT scan. And they confirmed that to be true. They confirmed that the handgun was found nearby, but there was no mention of any bullets. That's what they kind of mean by projectile. And that still is just so odd to me. That kind of indicates a staged scene, if you will, or it possibly could. I mean, they didn't discuss a potential bullet wound being in her chest or anything like that, but that is much less common. And forgive me for speaking so bluntly here. Something else, the private investigator, Tom McNally, had previously posted on his Facebook, and I think I brought this up, that they were alerted about a body 2 weeks before Mellisa was identified as being Mellisa, and they already knew about this.
I just want to say as well to Lovely Jubbly, I'm just reading your situation, wanting to put an antibiotic there. I've been on them so many times, it's making me more ill. Come back with that. I said I was going, I can't, it's going on a flight, please take it out. It was a healthy tooth. I don't think it is healthy. I think that they just think it is, because I did this last time. I had a fracture and they kept saying it looked fine on the x-ray, and it wasn't until they actually started messing did they see there was a massive abscess underneath it, and it was the one next to it as well. So there's something going on, because it's just, I'm not well. I woke up really, really ill today, really hot as well, like really hot face and on that side, and I just feel rotten, like I've got an infection. Yeah, it's that tooth, or the one above it. It's one of them. I'm going to end it here, guys, because I'm feeling really, really rotten. But I'm hoping that I've helped you get a better understanding of this case. There's so much to it. It's such a bizarre one. But I am going to continue, because there are others as well that have gone missing. I need to go through the playlist and see who I've missed. Because that David Wilcox as well, he passed, and he was like only on YouTube a few weeks ago. And then there was the one who, another weird one, where apparently he left his car in a car park all day and disappeared, and then he was found 2 days later in a burnt out Tesla, like somebody had hit a switch and set fire to the Tesla with him in it. It was a really weird story. Just really, really bizarre. Like, I don't know about you guys, but there's too many of these to be a coincidence. And the way that the FBI looking at it is, they're getting like the local sheriffs to investigate each thing. So look at the bigger picture and joining all the dots. They're like, well, that was an isolated incident. That was an isolated incident. There's only so many isolated incidents until it all joins up to become one major incident. And that is their problem. Thanks, Susan. I feel unwell with it as well, though. That's the thing. I actually feel unwell. Yeah, I can live with a bit of pain. It's the feeling ropey that I hate so much. Right, thank you very, very much for being here, guys. I will be back. I don't know about tomorrow because I've got to take Jack out somewhere. So I don't know what time I'm getting back. So if not, it should be Thursday. I don't know what channel yet. I might go on Penny for Your Thoughts. I'll see how things are. But yeah, let's get this. I need to get this tooth sorted out. I've got the dentist on Thursday. And we'll see what he says. But I think this is definitely an abscess. Because why would the antibiotics make me feel better? I know. I didn't go back because it felt better antibiotics, and it's been a few weeks now. It's all come back again. And I can't stay on antibiotics forever. It's no good for your immune system. Right, okay, guys. Yeah, I've had it before. It's awful. Awful. All right, and guys, you guys take care. And I'll probably see you on Thursday, either this channel or Penny for Your Thoughts. I'm not sure which one. So much more to cover, the CERN as well. But we'll decide on the day what you want us to cover. Right, guys, you take care, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.